I'd like to call the meeting to order at 7 p.m. You get a roll call, please.
Mr. Bellafiore?
Here.
Mr. Biondo?
Here.
Mr. DiGiulio?
Here.
Mr. Ludston?
Here.
Mrs. Paletti? Here. Mr. Esivich?
Here.
Mr. Stoffel?
Here. Our quorum has been established. All please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Frank, could you please read our mission statement?
The mission of Norwich School District 80 is inspiring educational excellence in a nurturing environment.
Thank you. Public participation. You got your thing you want to read?
Yes.
Bring your glasses.
At each regular or special meeting which is open to the public, the Illinois School Code and Board Policy require that members of the public and the Board's employees be afforded time to comment or ask questions. The Board's agenda designates this portion of the meeting to recognize those visitors and provide an opportunity for comments or to ask questions. The Board asks that speakers identify themselves and limit comments or questions to no more than 5 minutes. The 5 minutes would be shortened if the President must conserve time to give the maximum number of individuals an opportunity to speak. Speakers are reminded to conduct themselves with respect and civility towards others. The Board also requests that speakers refrain from identifying individual students or staff. Speakers who choose to identify specific students or staff do so at their own risk. Please keep in mind that the opportunity to engage in public comment at a school board meeting does not insulate speakers from libel or violations of privacy. Lastly, if someone wishes to present an unresolved complaint to the board requests that you contact Dr. O'Malley. Thank you, and the board now looks forward to your comments or questions. Mark Rudek.
I just wanted to ask for everybody's help. Farmers offer some grants throughout the year. So there, we have a couple of teachers that made the final. This is across the whole country. So they're going to award $2,500 grants. So all you go to is thank a teacher at Farmers, and you just search Norwich. Ms. Weitzel is trying to get a field trip to the Holocaust Museum, and Colleen Finlater is trying to get a lamination machine. And then I'll keep you posted if we make other finals throughout the year, and there's actually a $100,000 one as well. So we could try to get some other funds to try to help out the programs at the school.
Thank you.
Is it? Can we put that on the what page?
As well as the Friday forward symbol.
Okay. Lou Mezzano.
Hello, my name is Lou Mezzano. I have been a plumber for Local 130 for 19 years, and I'm a licensed plumber for way over 10 years now. In my regular job, I am the head plumber of a high-rise condominium in the city downtown. I am part of a team that is in charge of facilities, mechanical, structural, and electrical problems that may arise during the time. The building has 55 floors, 728 units. We have 2 floors of commercial and 1 floor with parking and a pool. At various times, depending on the project, I supervise 20 workers and am responsible for the quality of work and that the jobs get done correctly. At the September 18, 2018 board meeting, one of the board members felt it was important, without any facts to back it up, to question my integrity, my credentials, and the work that I volunteered to do for the district schools. I'm not sure why this happened, but I figured I would get the facts out there for everybody. July 2017, I attended my first ever board meeting. The board stated in this meeting that they were going to be installing 6 drinking fountains, and it was going to cost $10,000. So I decided to volunteer to do the work. I decided to volunteer the work for free. I decided to give my consult on what units to buy and to make sure whatever units that were bought would retrofit the plumbing that was already in the wall. Later that same night, I contacted a board member and reissued my volunteering to do the work, and it was accepted. From July to mid-December, nobody contacted me about this work. I heard from nobody. December 2017, I was contacted by a school board member. The member told me that the fountains had been delivered and I had 2 weeks to get them installed into both buildings. I was shocked at this point because no one had contacted me up to this point, but I felt it was necessary to do because it was for the kids and for the teachers. December 2017, I went to Lee School to install the drinking fountains. The units were not the right ones for the plumbing in the walls. I told the janitor and the electrician that were with me at the time that we needed to open the walls in order to make them ADA compliant. I was able to open the walls at Lee and make them ADA compliant. By the way, if someone from the board would have checked the ADA section 2903, they would have found out that all drinking fountains do not need to be ADA compliant. I went to Giles several days later. At Giles, it was the same problem that it was at Lee. The drinking fountains were not the right ones for the building. But there was a bigger problem at Giles than just that. There was a high chance that as soon as I opened those walls, there would be an asbestos exposure. However, I told the head janitor that if they opened the walls and they find out that the asbestos wasn't going to be a problem, I would have no problem lowering the drinking fountains. I want to make my point that I did not charge for any of this work, nor the material to do any of this work at either school. January 2018, there was a message posted on Facebook from the staff thanking us for the job that we had done. July 2018, I had another conversation via Facebook with a board member, again offering to make the fountains ADA compliant. As soon as the walls were open and that we knew that there wasn't going to be an asbestos exposure, I've stated numerous times, going back to 2017, that once I received that it was okay to open the walls, that I would come back in no problem, as long as there was no asbestos, and redo the work to make it lower. At the September 18, 2018 board meeting, the board stated that they were going to have to pay a plumbing company to come in to move these drinking fountains. There is no reason that we should pay anybody to do this work. I have no problem doing this work for free. I will sign any necessary hold harmless documents that are needed in case I were to be hurt during this work in order to fix this work and us not to have to pay any more money than we have already paid. And once again, I do not understand why the board member felt it was necessary to question my integrity, my credentials, and the work that I volunteered to do at the district schools. Thank you.
We received several pieces of correspondence. We received 2, 4, 5 FOIA requests, and we'll go right into the administrative reports. Dr. O'Malley.
Yeah, so the first thing I just want to share with the board is we have approved a risk assessment that's going to be performed by P4S. P4S specializes in safety, security, as well as providing feedback on what we could do better as a school district when it comes to our safety and security with our students. The two gentlemen that we're working with are Mark Fields and Dan McDermott. They've already been out. They've met with the administration as well as the Norwich Police Department. They are going to be going to each building, both Lee and Giles, and doing a lunch and learn with our staff to look at improvements. This process started in September, and the process should be completed in November, where we will present at the board meeting based on their findings. Again, the most important thing is that we're trying to look for opportunities for improvement where we could do better when it's for safety and security. In addition, the individuals that we're working with will also do public presentations where they can do Q&A, where people can come from the community, parents can come from the schools, and they can ask questions and clarifications on what we do when it comes to the safety and security of our students. So I just wanted to make sure that the board understood that we're moving forward with this, and we will continue to move forward with this. The second thing is I've received requests for the rental of our school. And when I say the rental of our school, more specifically, the Norwich Park District is no longer going to be providing basketball. They have a third party, Skyline, and Skyline wants to use our facilities. Up to date, we don't have actual rates for the gym to be rented. However, I did look at other Park District facilities, and I'm finding that most of them rent the gym for $60 an hour. So what I'd like to do, because there's some urgency here, is I'd like this third party to be considered to rent our gym to provide the program at a rental rate of $60 an hour. We have in our procedures, we have a document that they could sign, but I would just want to bring it before the board because if I heard that it's okay to move forward, I'd like to do that at $60 until we've actually done a more thorough study. That's something we talked about, doing a thorough analysis of the rental of our facilities, but we're not ready yet because we just did our policies. We're now working on the procedures. So I just want to bring that to the board here tonight and just get a little feedback. Any thoughts that you may have on this?
How long are they, for how many hours or what days, or is it?
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
Okay.
I know that at a minimum, they're going to, one of the teams, in the past, the Park District could use our facility for free. We basically continue that practice because they're a not-for-profit. However, this is a for-profit organization.
Yes. Okay.
And so since it's a for-profit, we want to charge a rate. I believe that we should start with the $60 an hour, and then we can move from there. And then I'll find out. I want to bring it here first before I responded with the rate, and then find out more of the details.
Yeah.
But our procedures actually have a rental agreement that they can sign.
Yeah, that's good. I was also approached by another group, but yeah, I think we should definitely. I mean, I don't know what you guys think. We should use it.
What liability would that put on the district?
They would have to provide a certificate of insurance.
Which I'm sure they have. Hopefully, maybe can they provide, if they do this, maybe for the kids or the children, they can also provide maybe like floor hockey or something else at a later time. I know Union Ridge used to do that and stuff. So
I believe that would be the case, but right now, all I'm being asked for is the basketball.
okay.
I would like to hold off just for us to double check and make sure that a $60 fee would cover. I understand that that's with different districts, but we also have older buildings that need maintenance, the cost of redoing the floor, the cost of the heating and air conditioning, and also to see if that shifts any schedule with our cleaning crew. Just to cover our end of it, it seems very, very low, and I want to make sure that there is no damage that can be done to the gym or the floor that is not covered, and make sure that everything in a matter of the renter's responsibilities and a matter of the cleanliness, the upkeep, and their insurance is in line before we move forward.
Yeah, I don't know how much it costs.
I also have a question. Can you confirm that this program is indeed going through Skyline as opposed to the Norwich Park District? Because that is not my understanding. My understanding is the person who runs it for Skyline has now been asked to run it under the Norwich Park program.
Okay.
And so I just want confirmation that where does this fall, that there's no gray area, because if we're doing it for other park programs, then we need to continue until the policy changes.
Yeah, it's more procedural.
Well, like I said, I want to just make sure that that program is indeed not a park program, because that is not my understanding.
So I think we're at the deadline. I think, was it Ryan Chimera called you or emailed you?
He emailed me and he requested utilization of the facility for October 27th. And I'll check that date again.
So based on the 27th date that's coming up in a sense, do we want to empower the administration to go along with making sure they have the insurance to see, if will it be a conflict with our cleaning crew and so forth? And if everything aligns itself, are we okay with giving them the go-ahead, and then perhaps at our next board meeting that we could do an official rate for outside organizations?
Like temporary permit it now until the next meeting where we get a better rate?
I mean, it's going to benefit Norwich residents, and so, we should probably consider, if they need a space, let's, I think the rate is a reasonable rate for now. And, let Dr. O'Malley check to make sure they have the insurance, they have the proper insurance, make sure that check with the cleaning crew to see if that's going to be out there, check how many days that they're looking to do and how many hours.
Because we're not signing into any contract with them.
No,
it's just a rental agreement. I mean,
you need to use it.
But, do we want to empower the superintendent to go ahead and make that decision, or do we want to wait?